Hello everyone and welcome to the game of World of Warships. Today we are watching Skalzam. I'm terribly sorry, I have no clue how to pronounce that nickname. Anyway, he is in the Molotov, the tier 6 premium Russian cruiser. It's on the map straight in a standard battle. It's a tier 6 battle with no carriers and a pretty nice mix of the other classes. Now no carrier is good because the Molotov doesn't have great anti-air. The Molotov is a rather fragile ship with good firepower. I will link a review from LittleWhiteMouse in the video description if you're interested. Now we can also see here that the friendly destroyer is, well, I don't know what he is doing. Skalzam is asking in the chat where the Minakase is going, and it looks like he's returning, so that's good news. You really don't want to be the lead ship in a Molotov, you don't want to get shot at, basically. There we can see a Congo. Molotov does have decent range, so that's good news, and he's already turning away. The 3 battleships here are coming in his direction, so this is nice. Looks like the battleships aren't hiding at the map border, but they're actually sailing forward. They're just a little bit slow, so he is now running around and trying to get behind his battleships. The destroyer is coming in this direction, the cruiser is also around here, so yes, decent start. Team positioning is concerned. And he is switching to armor piercing. This Aetam is sending him with a nice little broadside. I think he's turning a little bit, but let's see if he can get some nice armor piercing hits here. And there is a citadel. This is starting pretty good. Now he does have a spotting aircraft in the Molotov, and the spotting aircraft I think is the only chance that you can stealth fire in this ship. The shells I think are pretty fast in the Molotov. But that's good news if you're engaging at long range. So he is looking around here for good targets. Unfortunately, the enemy cruisers are a bit maneuvering and aren't just simply sitting there and presenting broadside. On the not so great news, one friendly battleship is down, and I think, yeah, the second goes down too by torpedoes. So enemy destroyers are around here and have taken care of the friendly battleships. I'm still not quite certain what the friendly destroyer here is doing. Yes, he kind of tried to cap, and there is a Minakase charging in. Now Skalzam has used his torpedoes. They only have 4 kilometers range, but the Minakase is in his direction. Unfortunately, this won't be a hit. He's also using high explosive again, and so far, not much luck hitting the Minakase. There isn't that much support. Well, I think the one cruiser is helping him out here. Now, the Molotov is a rather fast ship. As you can see, the Minakase has trouble catching up. I guess the idea of the Minakase is to get pretty close and then launch torpedoes. It's always harder to hit somebody with torpedoes who is sailing away from you. And finally the Minakase turned, he got tired of chasing, he just couldn't catch up fast enough. And I think that Minakase is pretty doomed, but there are most likely torpedoes in the water. So that's something to watch out for. And one threat dealt with, but there is a Graf Spee around here. And, well, this Oba is on pretty low health. There are some torpedoes incoming, he should have no trouble avoiding those. And finished off one enemy cruiser. Now this whole maneuver took him pretty far away from his original engagement in the north. But there aren't really much allies remaining. This poor battleship has sailed straight into the zone wall. He should have probably turned around earlier. There isn't much point in going here in the north. By the time he arrives up there, it's probably not looking too good, right? This battleship is pretty isolated. The cruiser is already coming in this direction, and I'm still not entirely certain what this destroyer is doing, but there is no point in helping him trying to cap. This is not a very successful strategy, I would say. So, Skalzam is down here, and it's looking quite decent around here, I guess. The friendly forces should have more ships around here, and maybe they can deal with those enemies before the enemies from the north arrive. The friendly team is behind, but they can make something happen down here. They can pull this back. There is a Leander. He is showing broadside, so armor piercing it is. Fortunately, that Leander is maneuvering and not just sailing broadside on. And yeah, the battleship in the north has gone down by now. The friendly forces are almost all together now here at the friendly cap. And yep, the destroyer up there got taken out. It looks like there was a battleship from the enemies basically still at the spawn. It's possible that one enemy is AFK. I guess it would be great because it's not looking so well for the friendly team. And there is one fire on the Congo. Unfortunately, Congo used his damage control ability. But after that's done with, should be able to set the Congo on fire some more, hopefully. There is a nice little fire. And the friendly team managed to take out the Leander. So the enemy Congo is already turning away and is probably trying to retreat. He realized that most of his team is in the north. So if the enemy team now meets up and pushes in here with force, it's... well, it will get really tricky for the friendly team. So hopefully they can stop this Congo from retreating, and the New Mexico. Now there are some nice fires going on the Congo. So he is switching his target now to the New Mexico. And maybe he can get one more fire on the Congo. I think one. And now seem to be like 2 fires going on the Congo. A ship can have a maximum of 4 fires. So it looks like one enemy battleship escaped, but the New Mexico is somewhat low, so hopefully they can get her out. There is some incoming fire, he is maneuvering, and only a little scratch here. Interestingly enough, there are a lot of enemy ships that just aren't spotted. I mean, if those enemy ships will push here towards the center, I think we should have seen them by now. And, oh, it looks like there is an enemy cruiser here sneaking in from behind. And Skalzam just took out New Mexico. Nicely done. And yeah, it looks like a cruiser is sneaking in from behind, and there is a Graf Spee in this channel here. There are still some ships where we don't exactly know the position of. And there is still the possibility that one enemy battleship is AFK, which would make this a lot easier for the friendly team. Now he is turning his ship around here. There is no reason for the friendly team to push anywhere. If the enemy split up, now the friendly team can go back here, deal with this cruiser, and they are a lot better off. So if the enemies want to split up, that's their problem. But the friendly team here, the defensive force, is doing a great job in sticking together. And they are being capped, so one enemy destroyer has snuck into the cap circle apparently. I guess the enemies, maybe they were trying to go for a pincer maneuver. But the right side is kinda retreating, so the left side here pushed without support. So the enemy team isn't very well coordinated. But that's good, because the friendly team is behind and they really need the enemies to make mistakes here. And there is a Murmansk who is lobbing shells over an island and already pretty hurt. Unfortunately, I think the Murmansk will be able to retreat behind this island and be safe, so... But with the Murmansk retreating, this destroyer is all alone. The friendly team is scattered here and they will flush out this destroyer. Looks like the Graf Spee probably is here pushing on the right side, and one battleship here is at least supporting. There is a kamikaze, but, well, he got taken out. Unfortunately, the friendly team lost the last battleship. Now it's 3 cruisers and 1 destroyer against 3 battleships and 2 cruisers. Now this Murmansk is in a bad spot. He is here out of friends and he will probably retreat. I'm assuming he might just go here over the center and try to rejoin more of enemy forces. Still looks like this one battleship might be AFK. And I'm not sure where the other battleship here is going, but if those 2 battleships don't want to fight, that's great for the friendly team. He is going with armor piercing after the Graf Spee. Graf Spee is not very well armored. Fortunately, he missed here. And okay, it looks like the battleship is not AFK. We now see the battleship that was sitting at the start here in the center of the map. For some reason, those battleships don't just push right into the center. I mean, if they really wanna go all the way around, that's great. Again, the friendly team can deal with those 2 ships and then focus on the others. Now there are 6 minutes left of this game. If the time runs out, the team that has more points wins. And that's the enemies. So the enemies are actually in a pretty good spot. They don't have to do something aggressive, but you don't want to sit back 6 minutes, I guess, and do nothing. But unfortunately for the enemies, they aren't pushing as one unit, but just split up too much. Now this Graf Spee will get taken out pretty soon, and then the Congo is all alone. And the friendly team can just gang up on this Congo. The enemies still aren't pushing here towards the center, but are slowly sailing here in the north. This cruiser who has retreated, I have absolutely no clue where he went. It's possible that he just decided to sit this one out and wait for the time to run up. I mean, it's looking like the enemies are winning this over time. Friendly team is still behind, but if they manage to get this Congo without losing a ship, they can turn this around. Was there without losing a ship is kind of crucial. And that's problematic because, well, 3 enemy cruisers alive and the Congo can basically get the cruiser with one good salvo. We've got to be careful, the turrets aren't looking in this direction, and I think the Congo is shooting high explosive, so that's good news. And there is a nice little fire. So maybe he can get a few more. He got himself Swidera, so Skalzam doing really well in this battle and really dishing out the damage. And with the guns not pointed in his direction, he doesn't even have to worry right now. And, well, the bad news, the friendly team just lost another cruiser. It's not that surprising against a battleship, but it hurts because now sinking this battleship won't be enough. If those enemies just stay in the north, and from what they have shown so far, that's kind of likely, then the friendly team's going to lose this. It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. That's not an awful lot of time. They haven't finished the Congo yet. There's still potential that the Congo sinks another ship before he goes down. And the Congo just detonated. Now, considering that there were quite a few torpedoes in the water there, I don't think the detonation changed anything on the outcome. But, you know, I guess the Congo got 10 free flags, so hooray for that. So, when we look at the points, friendly team is slightly behind. The only way for them to change this around is to sink an enemy ship. It's 3 against 3. But so far the enemies have just stuck in the north. We haven't seen the... Oh wait, there is a battleship coming this way. So basically the enemy was not pushing when he should have pushed, and now he's coming in when he should probably run away. But he is giving the friendly team a chance. So this is gonna get interesting. And both battleships are pushing in. For some reason they decided to split up. We don't see the enemy cruiser. The enemy cruiser would be a very easy target to sink. He was on low health when we last saw him. So I guess it's kind of smart for the enemy cruiser to stay away. It would also be smart for those battleships to stay away. Yeah. It's 1.5 minutes and they have to sink the Congo and not lose a friendly ship. That's kind of problematic. Now, Skalzam is kind of getting close to the König. He is turning around here. But, you know, it's tricky because not only has he has to stay alive, but he also has to help sink that Congo, otherwise they lose. And it looks like the torpedo salvos were avoided by the Congo. It's 50 seconds left. Now the Congo is burning. That's great. The Minekase is also very low. He has to be careful not to get sunk, so Minekase is probably not using her guns. This is getting close. 25 seconds left. They should be able to get the Congo anytime now. I hope he can't repair. No, he can't. And there is Arsonist. There is one hit. Now all they have to do is stay alive for another 12 seconds. Those salvos from the König missed. I think they were even high explosive. And unfortunately he's not so well angled here, but... Right. So... Skalzam got detonated by a high explosive shell from the König, and it was like 2 seconds away from the victory. That sucks. So this is a defeat. So let's take a look at the results. Skalzam managed to get 1652 base experience. in a loss. More experience than anybody on the winning team. Skalzam managed to get Witherer, Arsonist, Detonation, High Caliber, and Confederate. He scored 191,000 points of damage and he played an amazing game. Unfortunately, in the end, luck wasn't with him. I mean, some of his team helped really well in the end. They really stuck together and as a team they fought off the enemies, and the enemies made lots of mistakes. The enemy team tried hard to lose this battle, but they failed. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating in the end, but it was an amazing battle to watch in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I'll see you guys next time.